How's it going, everybody? I'm doing a video that I promised, God, almost 3 years ago at this point. 2012, it's 20. No, yeah, it'll be 3 years this year because it was the 2013 Pokemon X and Y review. But I'm talking about the only reason I was able to make that review, my 3DS capture card from Loopy. One of the things that, is really necessary for video game YouTube is a capture card of some kind. Now, those are easy for Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, everything up to the DS era of consoles because they were all on one screen, so it was easier for Nintendo, specifically Nintendo, to put their handheld consoles on a TV. The Super Nintendo had the Super Game Boy and the Super Game Boy 2 in Japan. The N64 kind of had one in the transfer pack, but it was only really used with Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Stadium 2. And then the Game Boy Advance had humongous possibilities with the Game Boy Player on the GameCube. But 2004, when the DS was dropped, there was no way to actually record DS games unless you just sat down in front of your DS with your camera. Especially in 2004, that didn't look really good. Now you might be thinking, but Brayden, it's 2004. Why are we recording gameplay videos in the first place? HD, or not HD PVRs, but PVRs and DVRs were a thing at this point. This was a common thing. AVGN was recording all of his videos at that point onto a DVD using a DVD recorder. So, it's not an uncommon thing to have wanted that at that point, especially because 2007 or 2006, I think it was, one of the biggest leaps in the Pokemon franchise being Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, and regular everyday people that didn't run a game studio or a review company couldn't capture their footage unless, again, you grab your era-appropriate point-and-shoot camera and point it at the console, which just didn't fucking work. As somebody that did that for their Game Boy Advance games and Game Boy Color games, I don't know how I'm here. I really and truthfully do not understand how I'm making videos now. Because, even for consoles, for the longest time, I had a very difficult time trying to figure out the best options. Because at the time, there wasn't that many. We had, like I said, the HD PVR, which was like fucking $300-400 at that point. You had the Elgato, the original HD 60, which I know Elgato made an analog one prior, but there was, again, no way to get DS capture at an affordable price. Now, you could get like a DS development kit. I think they were called Panda kits. You could get one of those, and those have display out. And you could plug that into an HD PVR and do all of the shit that way. But I don't think Loopy was one of, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, Loopy might have been one of the first to do original fat model DS gameplay recording capabilities with a mod chip. I know once the 3DS came around, there were a couple. I know Katsukitty was one of them, and I know Loopy was one of them. But now, Loopy's really the only person to do it. Back in the day when I was, 12, 13 years old when X and Y came out, Loopy and Katsukitty were the two main motherfuckers doing this shit. Now with, I believe it's the original DS model and the original 3DS model, there was no integrated audio out, so you had to run an external auxiliary cable from the console to the computer. But with the new 3DS XL capture mod, not only is it USB-C, making it universal at this point with everything, it also transferred audio through that USB-C cable. So you could charge, send video, and send audio all from one cable. I remember with the original Fat DS model, you had to plug in the charger, then plug in the micro USB for video out, and then also plug in an auxiliary cable into your line input on your computer for audio input, output, whatever the fuck. And that was just convoluted. Now it's all in one singular fucking cable, and it's so nice, insanely nice, because now you don't have to fight anything. I can be sitting on my couch recording a Dreamcast Sunday video from my 3DS, and it'd be perfectly fine. In fact, I've done that. And one thing that's super nice, there's almost no latency. Like when I recorded X and Y and ORS, I just was watching my fucking computer monitor more than I was the actual 3DS. You know, there's so many things to like about this, especially because now more than ever, it is super affordable. If you have soldering skills, you can get the kit for, I think it's like anywhere between 120 and 150. I'll put up the price right here. But I'm not really big with fine soldering. The most I can do is like Game Boy cartridges and the GameCube. That's the limit of my soldering because it's 2 big solder joints and I just plop, plop, and that's it. If you're good with that, that kit is it's anywhere between 100 and 150. Then if you already have a new 3DS XL, you can send it out to Loopy and he'll install it for you for 200 bucks. Now, I don't know if you've looked at the price of an Elgato recently. That's almost $200 fucking dollars. For what? Because Elgato fucking sucks. I really, genuinely, I'm gonna say this to the ethos, I've used Elgato primarily for the last 10 years, if not more, because I had the original HD60 and then I upgraded to the HD60S around the time that this channel started, oddly enough. And I've had nothing but problem after problem after problem with my 60S. This, on the other hand, absolutely no fucking problem. One of the reasons that I actually waited to do this video was A, to have, extended time with the product. There was a fuck up. I took out my 3DS from my 3DS case, and for some reason, I'll throw up the pictures, the entire frame was coming apart and the charger port couldn't even be plugged in. There was no video going to my computer. There was no video coming through the 3DS. So I emailed Loopy and I was like, hey, here's what's going on. I sent him the pictures and he fixed it free of charge. Elgato won't fucking do that. And I'm not gonna say he's gonna be able to do that for every single person that opens a ticket with him and buys a product. But at least with my, I didn't tell him about this review. Obviously, my review is not gonna help his business because less than 1,000 subs? He just is that nice of a person to do it completely for free. And I mean, that's really all I've got to say about it. If you're in the market for doing YouTube videos about DS, 3DS games, 2DS games, because I think are there specifically just 2DS games? If you are, Loopy's capture cards are the only really good way to do it. Because I know there's this lossless, compressionless streaming option that you can age brew your 3DS to do. I've tried it, and there is a full second of lag. The picture looks like this, and it's just not worth it, in my opinion. If you're already gonna be modding your 3DS, you might as well just go ahead and get the capture card hard mod from Loopy. And with all that being said, guys, if you want to pick one up, I do have the link in the description. It is not an affiliate link, and I know that he does shut down production from time to time. That link will be in the description below. We are working on a couple things over on the Team Light Crusade channel and the Dreamcast Sundays channel. Spencer is currently still recovering from the car accident, if you saw the Dreamcast Sundays update video.
Hello, Dreamcast Sundays fans, all too. As you might notice, I'm fucked. Because of this, no new episode this week. Fuck you.
But he's recovering fast, and we should be back to recording those videos very soon. And then I'll have a teaser for the Team Light Crusade video coming out soon. But with all that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Peace, guys.